Traveling through recognition of time centers is extremely important to understand all levels. It's knowing how powerful we are and what we see through the eye line system. The third eye position location is all levels of view, how you see yourself through your senses, how you connect all levels of your eyes, your ears, your voice. It's a commanding system location to its calculations. All right. So the third eye is really more of a representation and how you see yourself through the avatar. Okay. And the projector of its projection is all levels of light and its moon. Light of program and the moon of program. Now the light has its own acceleration and the moon has its own calculation. So to understand how to travel through light is understand how to travel through its program. You put the two together, you get a vector line center location 2 is flux capacitor. I sent you guys very powerful videos of me going through my spiritual growth. And everything I give to you is analysis locations, right? So it's all about understanding that the third eye is a mutation line and it calculates all levels of you through your emotional track system. It's very important to stay in that position when you guys are traveling. As soon as you get into a different emotional track and you're sending something through an energy signature to a position, to a friend, or anything through related that signal, what are you doing through thought? So let's say you're happy and you get a disturbing phone call. You say, hold on a sec, that's going to change the happy to sad or angry. It's going to travel, but it's going to change the time. It's going to change the pattern. It's going to change the synchronicities. It's going to change the division. It's going to change the location. It's going to change the behavior line center that you're sending the energy to through signature. So it's important when you are traveling through your thoughts to make sure you're in one motion, not two, not three, not four, not five. One and one, not one and two, not one and three, not one and four, one and five, especially 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And two line centers is 4. Two vector line in rotation line position. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really understand how to get calculations. The best way to understand your thoughts is to count, right? I remember back in track interference location of Sesame Street. We watched it when we were all levels of connections as a child. In calculations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 DNA, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you have to really understand how to vortex forward and vortex back, vortex up and vortex down. So it's all position of up, all positions of sides, and all positions of down, and all positions of back, right? So what is that? What is it? Your tetrahedron. Line cross signal, see? Right? Side cross line center. Back force line position. And forward calculation puts you into a tetrahedron. This is more of the imagination, right? The torical field, right? It goes around. The energy field. The atom rotation, right? So you got the atom rotation spinning, and it's going like this. The moon's in position, the sun's in position of the weather pattern, right? And the energy field's going around it. It's an energy cell through an atom line center, through a torical field, through an energy hub into your connections of your tetrahedron, into your panel. So try to understand what the avatar is when you're waking up, because you're waking up to your emotion, you're waking up to your calculation, you're definitely waking up to your simulations, your holograms, your pixel activation system, communication on all levels, right? So when we travel through the third eye, you're going to see your perception of what you want to see through the avatar. So it's the eyes of the avatar. So when you go through it, it's going to be, I'm getting you guys prepared because everything's set up through code and you already know that through calculations, right? But when you're traveling through it, it's very powerful. Doing fast track interference of channel line and rotation in calculations. Setting stream center line rotation to code signals. I'm going to travel very fast and code dislocations. All right. Try to stand the modification to its line center. All right. So it's all about how to create what you want to create at high positions, dislocations. You start off with that connection. Right. Powerful, isn't it? So when you're in the center, this is you. This is all levels of you. Okay? It's all levels of you in position locations. How to understand what you're doing is all levels of modify, right, to its position. Right? So when you travel through the third eye line rotation, you see the intelligence, right? See the eyes, comes into calculation, going to connection interference. So the program setting position location is in direction. All right, so as we travel, see the eyes, see how calculations modify. So traveling is extremely powerful when you go all level division. Rotation interference. So I want you to know how powerful it is to go through calculation, right? So I'm going to code signal line interference. Now we got the ground line center rotation. Remember, everything sets in the ground interference, everything sets in the power line rotations, and everything is calculated and modified to the absent line interference. Okay? So we go in position location, how to set these things up through flux capacitor. Right? We channel down. Very powerfully travel through that position location. Now, as we're traveling, the vortex communication is going to open up all channel. We're going to change coloration interference into run line centers, rainbow active line stream. Okay, so you guys are here now. Okay, so you're going to go through a tunnel. You're going to go right through the vortex. Everything to code signal line center interference locations and line conditions. Change the position location line high system. So in modification system, right, so from here to here, right? So you're going to go through here. As you go through here, it's going to open the channel position locations to its realm. Space-time, all levels, position locations, space discoveries. Knowing exactly how to go through a wormhole. So it sets a signal location to its position. Starts off that line center, right? Panels. Everything is panel. Now we laser direction on both side position location to its direction. Right? See? All right. Its signal line centers, codes are set up position locations all levels. Crew line centers, unit squads, unit 1 and 2 line center in position locations. Redirect line centers to GFL, rebellion, everything through all course line conditions of the ascendant masters. Set the high line center interference locations. Try position location line conditions, right? Here we go. All right. So you travel through and now you're at the other line center in position locations. Knowing exactly the wind spectrum communications, high center line and rotation, full communication to the avatar, right? So that's you in the rainbow activation line center, physical line rotation. You come into full rotation to coloration to your avatar coming out of high signal interference, okay? In position locations going through third eye line rotation interference. Get them in adaptation system, rotation system. Get them in calculations of what they're going to see through the eye circle line rotation, okay? Your computer adaptation is fully cycling all levels of the avatar. Finally, to see what is here in position. That's how you see things perception. So this is the eye line center that you see through all levels. The projector to its projection. Understand the communication of lights and everything's the position of the moon. Okay. Moon being cross centers or anything through calculation of light center and rotation. But it's amazing how you go from rainbow activation to 1% to the avatar streamline center location to its 101 line center. Now, because you guys are high sequencing right now, you're 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, you're always moving forward in your accelerators. Mocking speed in position location, you go from 144 to 244, 344 to 444, 544, depending on how fast you want to go. The faster you spin through cycles, the more you understand more connections to your memories. That's why it's so powerful to travel. Okay. So as redirect line center rotations, you're going to spin through cross signals. You're going to go in the opposite direction line interference. So how it has a front end and a back end line center, front lobe and the back lobe of interference locations, doubles the spine, drops its interference location to channel. All right, so it's spinning in through cycles. 2 division tacted line center, sun communication to moon, rotation interference. Okay, from there to there, right? Outside in line center rotation interference line conditions, all right? Redirect line centers of space, coming in position locations. All right, so rainbow activation line stream, avatar comes out of its portal. Coloration rainbow activation line stream, here, here, and here. Now it's out signaling and calculations. It's better I show you through travel to know exactly what you're doing because you get confused if you don't know what you're doing with the position, right? So you're coming through. All right, so now the Highline Center is set up in 6 locations. 3, 6, and 9 plateau interference line position of triangle communications. High-level channel line centers. Knowing exactly what you're doing through modification signal. All right. So code center is in position locations box system. Triangulation force lines. Communication system. All right. So it's going to weave you in. It's taking you in. Right. See how it's taking you in? Now the plasma line center is already set position locations. We're going to open up channel line interference in position locations. Right. So as it opens up, it signals in position locations to its realm connection. All right. As it's going through its realm connections, you're going into kaleidoscope line channel. High division tactic, high line interference in positional program setting, resetting course line centers to a new T reception line. So from that to there, right? Modification signal. So it's traveling. Just showing you how fast you can travel through all position locations. All right. So went from here to here to here, and now it's going to go here. As you get into calculations, set up the streamline center, 12 division locations. Right. Road graph interference. Projection of lights in calculation modifications. Travel position locations, code signal, install levels, crews, unit squads, 1 and 2 position locations, GFLs, rebellion, everything. The center master, travel position location, line condition. All right, so now you're in the center position. Going through the eye central line centers, what your third eye is in rotation. There you go. 30 minutes, have fun. Just gonna grab some water. Traveling through the eye circles is trying to understand youth formation. So it's the eye centrals of the avatar. know exactly what you're seeing through provision. Eye central line connections. I just want to show you what you're seeing through your eyes because it's all modified. The perspective is what you're seeing through projection of the projecting. So it's a film. It's got 8 rotation line centers, all position locations in the right track and the left line center. So it's it's an 8 rotation spin cycle. Okay, so in track center, in position location, you guys are already traveling. Let's set up eye position locations. One here and one here. All right. Now you are in the middle. And you got a cross stream over here in position. And you got a downwind cycle in position location. See how it's set up? So size graph location and position location direction. Crosswind cycles up and down position location. All right. So how it's set up is very powerful. It's really understanding how to communicate what you're seeing, right, through the eye central. See the intelligence? So we always have the XT1000 line connection in position. See the eyes? See? Calculation of line centers. Coming into all line connections to the nose, right? Coming all formation line center locations to the mouth. See the intelligence? Let's open all track line center interference. Now, understanding how to use the 8 central line centers, letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols, it doesn't matter through calculations. Everything I do is formation of intelligence. You can see the eyes, you can see the nose, you can see the mouth. It's all through all line center location, all position locations. 2, I'm going to go through different color line. I'm going to go through purple through the sun to show you exactly what it is through its diamond core. Right now you see the intelligence, right? So as it comes in wind cycle, you really understand the calculation modification. It opens up the channel lines. See the eyes? All right. Coming in full communication of what really is information, right? Is understand your track interference. So once the A-line center opens up position locations, it opens its I-line center. See? I-line center. Diamond. Templates. Both line position locations attract high center line position of sonar. Okay? And then you have the eyebrow line center in a rotation that cross its stream. Okay? Now you can really see the intelligence. As the intelligence comes into formation line center, they can really understand the track interference. Okay? It's knowing what you're seeing. So when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you have to understand how powerful it is to set your system. Okay? So you got the north line, you got the south, you got the east and the west. That's a diamond. Right? So in calculation, you go up here and here. There's your flux capacitor. You line cross your eye line centers, you come to your ears. You are attached to everything through line. Okay, everything is attached to you. Your nose, your self line is connected to a pyramid. The eye line centers are position of teleportation. Your position, this is a road graph. Your eyebrows are road graph line centers across streams. They cross over. Okay, these are your templates. Okay. So you have to truly understand how to modify all levels of what you're seeing through the eye circle and rotation. It's very powerful when it's set up position locations. All right? And you change the coloration path. Okay. Let's go into a different color. Okay. I'll just show you through black line center interference to know exactly what you're up against when you're seeing these things. It gives you a better understanding how to relook in modification system to its location system. How you see the intelligence. So you see how it comes into form, right? All right. Now it's coming into form. right? So as you come in position, you come into modification centers, eyeline center interference. Program location to its calculation. So when you understand all levels of what your ear traps are through line center, it comes in modification signals. There's the ear lines, rotation interference. Program location is eye system, what you're seeing through calculations, right? Modifications to a system comes into a T reception line. Now that T reception line opens all track and interference line conditions, opens all level division line rotation, do its calculations, travels. Everything travels to high center. Everything has to travel through high line center. It's high rotation interference. So it programs its position location to all direction line center. Okay? Applied to division location to higher channels. All right? So knowing exactly what you do with the 8-line center interference, it all programs its locations to the left and right direction interference. Now it programs its location to its line conditions. Now, understanding how to use your flux capacitor to truly understand all levels. So this is the true understanding how you're set up through your flux capacitor, right? And all levels of your diamond, northwest, south, and east. Your connections to your right and your left ear track system. Your throat pattern, straight down line center to look where your chest is. Flux capacitor, people. How it's set up, right? All right, so you come into the coloration path. Now the eye center, line center, position locations changes into box system locations, right? Calculation modification. Recognition of time centers. Okay. It changes its formation to all levels. Right? So it gets confusing, right? So you have to truly understand what you're traveling through. It's all line signaling, all levels of you, right? So all comes formation. Everything is travel. It's just knowing what you're traveling through when you're going through the eye center line and rotation to the avatar condition. So how you're setting box interference line position line conditions, you just have to learn how to channel through it. It changes position location to its direction. Okay. So I'm just showing you how powerful it is just to travel through that. You start off with this line condition. All right. Go into this position. So it's amazing that you see everything through visual. Everything is visual. All right. So really understanding what your third eye is puts you in a better provision, right? You go through triangle, you start off the line conditions. You got 3 line centers, 6 positions, and 9 in line system. 9 is you through location, which is its 1%. We've been through this many, many times, right? So you circle that. You take that out of the equation. Security line defense opens all channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12, right? So the 9 can go through line center. Okay. So it's interesting too, because you understand that the physical line center can travel. It can levitate. I've levitated. So levitating takes a lot of work, but the ground line center changes position locations all levels of your flux capacitor location to its calculation. So it's really understanding how to communicate with the grounds. See? Set signals, all position location. Compilation line interference. Opens all channel line center, right? Template interference line conditions of 3, 6, and 9 again, right? Or you can go into higher level system locations. You can go into 3, 3, you can go into 6, 6, or you go into 9, 9. Now, what changes is all levels of the avatar. The 3-line center can be here, 3-line center can be here. So the sun could be here and the sun could be here. Okay. Now the 6-line connections can be down here through the line centers. Let me go through black line, channel line rotation. 6 here. Okay. And 6 here in calculation. All right. And the 9 always stays where? In the center. physical line. Always stays in the center. So as long as you stand the capacitor line center, you set the flux capacitor location to the sun and to the moon to its flux capacitor location. So it doesn't matter. As long as you understand where the 3 is and where the 6 is, you never have a problem. So 3 here, 6 there, 9 there. When you start, right? That's your position to your pyramid. And then when you get better, you get into your diamond. And when you get in better formations, you come into starlight communication. Starlight communication is very powerful, more commanding cis locations. So when you get into that, you come into higher levels. Okay? You come into your tetrahedron. It's powerful when you come into that position locations. It's the tetrahedron in the center. And so as we understand that everything has to have a ground, you can change the ground line center, so you can change the rotation interference, and you can change all levels of circle line and rotation, and you have the sun and the moon in position location line connection. Right? So I'm just showing you how to travel in so many waving cycles, knowing exactly what it represents to you through the third eye line system. Let's go through white graph line center into a level position, cross signals into 3 box system locations. Go through that. We've done that already, right? And we go through stream interference. See, there's a box. Let's go through rainbow activation streamline rotation. Let's change the pattern. It's interesting when you do that position. You have to know exactly what's going on. See how that comes in form? See? And again, you can change the color. You just have to understand the coloration. This is where you come into balance of how you use your emotional track. Now, I'm showing you how I can use 3 different emotions, but balance them out through the aggression of angry, sad, or happy. Okay, there you go. Balance. Right? And you get a 4th line connection. Travel through it. There you go. Balance. Different colorations. Alpha channel. Delta channel. Different intelligence. Different coloration. But balance on both ends of the male and the female. To all provision. Okay? So how are we doing so far? All right. You guys are traveling. It's good. MB, Tina, how you doing? Jill, how's it going? Terry, how's it going? Don, how's it going? Johnny, how's it going? Michael, how's it going? Everybody, how's it going? All right, Chris, how's it going? It's great, you guys. Make sure you know exactly what's going on. Sammy, Ellen, Rainer, Michael, Christine, Pam, Eric. All right. Janet, Taryn, Gypsy. Well, it's great to see everybody. Top of the morning to you on a Monday. I will get back on TikTok, because a lot of people have to be in position location of what's going on through direction. It helps you always informs and really understand what's going on through modification cycles. Resetting anything at that position location. Fauna, is it going? All right, so what do you got? In third eye present condition energy and magnetic highway, millions of wire connections, input and protection room, being specific thoughts, be aware your intent behind everything. Yep. Truly understand what you're seeing through the eye center line interference. Exactly even know what it is through calculations, people. Get a true understanding why it's so important to the integration. Physical line and the avatar stream. Data communication of everything. The input, okay? The output, the in, the out. In, out. This goes in, this comes out. But when you go higher, in and out and in, out, out. So it gets more complicated. But you first start off with the inner line center to the outer line position. So it has an input and output. That's how you set up a VCR position locations when you're going to the calculations of the 80s, where you have to have an input and output for audio. So it's all connected to the light stream locations of the sun and position location of the moon. So the moon, how to get into projection of what you're seeing, right? Except it's an eight line center that's rotating through position locations. One here, one here, one here, one here. 8 line center rotation. Okay. So truly understand how you're set up. Right? Right? So you really have to see yourself more in calculations, geometry, operation, direction, location to its intent. And what is the force lines? What is the creation that you're creating through teleportation? Your units has to truly understand what you're doing through vector of anything through spectrum lights or spectral communication or spectral line in and rotation. Truly understand how powerful you are through division. Right? So now you're projecting all levels of the avatar. That's why it's so powerful. You know, every time I draw these things, I'm not drawing, I'm traveling through the avatar. All right, Barbara, how you doing? Melinda, how's it going? Get a true resonance, you know, coming into all levels of balance. So 3 different behavior line centers. So that's how I use the avatar connection to anything through geometry location. So these are 3 different behaviors. You got a circle, you have a square, okay, and you have a triangle. 3 different emotions, right? But they have balance. Triangulation is everything, especially. So if that's you, you have to understand how to communicate to these 2. And these 2 have to understand you. You understand? So it's the eye center line interference location opens up all levels of the triangle. What coloration is it at? Okay. Is it in a communication system? Where is it in division? Where is it in high center? Same with this. So once you get triangulation, you got balance. So when you have balance, you can set course line centers to a position location of box system. Now, when you have a box system, it's very powerful. Check this out. Once you have a box system and a complete cycle, you can use your rainbow activation string and travel through all position locations to all shapes in one cycle. So setting that up is traveling through position location to its direction, right? So the circle line center comes in position here, okay? The triangle position location comes into the center. And the square in position locations, it can be outline center or in position location, doesn't matter if the calculation, goes into the outline rotation. There's the balance. From all this to this. You see how powerful it is? That's one line signal. That's one behavioral track. So if you don't understand the shapes, you're not going to understand the calculation of division of travel. You can't travel through separation. You have to learn how to use triangulation of 3 line connections. Once you get into that positions, you got all levels of the circle, the triangle, and the square. And then the square travels through position. It starts traveling. Look. It starts traveling with everything that you created through the 3 behavior line centers. And then you can change. You can have the circle out. So you can have the circle in. It doesn't matter. It's the male and the female aspects of its shapes, letters, numbers, and symbols. You have to learn how to use your emotional thoughts. What you're doing through calculation and modification to its manifestations, guys. Okay, so you can take the triangle and change it in a different color. Doesn't matter. It's still traveling. See, different, but it's still balanced, right? I'm just showing you how powerful it is for triangulation. So that's important to understand your emotional tracks. It's the same thing how you use your thought patterns. Let's go through a rainbow. Okay, to the. This is the. Okay, the, right? So the is traveling, right? And the H is traveling, and the E is traveling. See the balance? Very easy. That conditions goes from here to here. And then from here, I can change the coloration line conditions. So the T can turn into all levels of green, and the H can turn all levels of purple, and the E can turn all levels of black into the. See the balance? So you understand how to use the alphabetical line conditions. Everything that I do through travel is all mutation. You have to understand how to use your thought patterns in one location of three-line systems. That also has to be in a triangulation. Triangulation to its connections, right? So there it is there. So it's line signal here, line signal here, line signal here, here, here. There it is. Now it's all calculated, modified, right? Sets up a graph interference. Whoa, look at that. See? Set signals in position, location, line conditions. Redirect line center into Fibonacci sequence. Changing the frame position locations of 12 line center interference. Set signals in position travel through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 line position locations. So going back in the rainbow activation line stream, going back in division locations, back in calculation, right? So security line defense, 12 line centers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I go past 12, it changes your behavior lines, which means your vibration will go faster, right? But you guys aren't ready through acceleration line conditions, especially with the crews, units, squads, and 1 and 2s. Once you get out of the 12 line center, you're in a higher formation of space through its intelligence. So you truly have to understand how to travel through your 12s of DNA. So that's 12 DNA at different motional patterns. I bet you guys didn't know that. What do you think your chakra systems are? Mutation valves, right? Coloration. Vortex line centers, interference, location, and line conditions. So try to balance everything through your graph interference. If you get a road graph in position location, it's coming in division, right? So it's really hard to set these things up. I always started off with telephone poles. It's amazing how it travels. Goes this way. This is going this way, right? And this is going the other way. See? See how this is going this way and this is going this way? This is a road graph. Perspective. One's going one way, one's going the other way. Gets confusing, right? Fibonacci. Location. Right? So I think it's fascinating when you guys start traveling better. And it's all through emotion. Alphabetical line conditions, you go through numbers, right? You go through 7 line conditions. There's 7, right? You go through equals 6 line. Now the 6 line location is what? Is it going forward or is it going back? So if you go to 7 and you want to travel to 6, are you going forward or are you going back? Are you going forward or are you going back? You're going forward. Why? Because 6 is ahead of 7. Ooh-ah. So in calculation, it doesn't matter. Just because it's in order doesn't mean it's going back. You can have 3 line centers and you can have 9 position locations. You have 7 position locations of 1. Which one's in front? Right? Depending on how you're looking at it, right? Through space, through perception. It's all done through your eye center line rotation to its position. Right? So in calculations, you're going through 3. Right? 3 is 1. 9 is 2. 7 is 3. and 1 is 4. So that gives you 234. Okay? So that's a track interference location to its position location to its perception. See the intelligence? I'm just showing you how powerful it is. Just because it's in sequence of 1 to 10 doesn't mean that it's in order. It's all about understanding your behavior line centers. And I'll show you how the data stream works up to position locations. Let's say you get number 100 calculations, okay? 100 and 101. So you got 100 and you got 101. So the track interference location line conditions. So 0 can go here in equal line center equals 1 location, right? So it's all about behavior line centers. So the 1 position location offline track is moving forward, right? So this one goes here in calculations. It's moving it forward. So you have to learn how to use your data streams. Okay? Powerful. So 1's here, right? So that leaves you with 0, 1 in location. This was 0, 1. So that wipes out its system. So you have to learn how to delete all these things, guys. Things that don't reside with you through patterns or interference location of channeling or high connections. You can't have number sequence offline position. It's got to be modification line centers. So 0, 1 equals 1, 1. And it's interesting how it change track line centers. Multiple line center interference location is nothing but division location of tactic system. And this is where it modifies back into the sequence locations of going forward and going back, moving forward and going this way. So it's incredible when you're going through all line centers and how to travel through position locations. It gets confusing if you understand the connections to all levels to its frequency. But it's incredible how you bring these things together all through emotion, because that's what you do through your chakra system. So let's say you coordinate the ground line center. Okay, 1 ground line center rotation. Let's say you go up in position locations. Let's start there, right? So as long as you stand the grounds, you're here. You're in the same coloration of the grounds, which is red. So your securities are good, right? You got balance. All right, I got security. Right on. So that's the chakra system, right? But it's not the grounds. Grounds is brown. Red is security. So in connections, you communicate with the ground center. There's the grounds. There's security. So you have to understand how to use force lines. Very powerful to communicate that system. You got the crown chakra right here in position. All right. You got your throat pattern here in position location. Right? And you got heart line center. Now that's in green rotation interference. There's your heart line center rotation interference line conditions. Right? So it's all about understanding how you set up anything through equine. Now, when you come to position locations, you come into higher channels. It opens all levels to the archetype. Archetypes swing around your body in rotation. Okay, they swing around. They keep you levitated. They keep you from floating. Like, whoa, you know. Levitation has its ground line center to all levels of its E fields through its torical line center. See the torical lines? Gets confusing, right? That sets you up position location. That's why it's so important to be in your own teleportation unit. See, it's very powerful when you connect to all level system locations, what you're doing through division. As it's coming into sequencing interference location, it comes into all levels. You have to know how and what set these things up to your tesseract line channel location of its position. All right. As it's setting in signal, it rotates its line connections to a graph line center location. Okay. See the intelligence? So as you understand the energy hub, which is all protecting locations, you have to understand your ethers. So you got an ether here. You got 4 line crevices of position location, learning direction. So you got 1 here. So open all the signals. Knowing exactly what you're doing with your coloration of patterns or interference location line conditions, it's very powerful through channel. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 line centers of ether. Now, before you travel through that, you have to understand the line say locations. Is this the alpha channel behavior? If not, it changes its color, right? So you're not going to be able to understand the modification signals. If you're coming in the 2-track line center, it's purple. Oh, it's the same color, right? It's amazing how we can have position locations. Now it's purple, right? And let's say everything is calculated at all levels of U. Then it goes into pink, same color, right? So it's all position location to its direction. Now you can go to higher level centers. You merge into all level connections. That's a higher formation. It's all realms and portals line condition. So once it understands division locations, so that it's a motion to one track line center, to one location, to one clocking, to one signature, to one division, to one light, to one intelligence, to one coloration, to one pattern, it opens the line center rotations to new coloration line conditions. A space. Okay. You guys start off your teleportation units first. When you go to higher level system, you don't need a teleportation. You are the teleportation. You got to come into that understanding through calculations, right? And then you can travel through it, all through 4 connections of ethers, right? So when you connect on all levels, they all change the same color. They can travel through it. So you have to connect with the ethers, the atmosphere line conditions. Are you in the atmosphere, hemisphere, stratosphere, bio, or anything in position locations to the Brainian? It's all connections. Everything has to come into one color. Everything has to come into one color. There's the intelligence. So that's why it's so important to have E fields up. But it's all through behavior. You can't have 3 position locations of behavior unless you understand this. 3 separations, or all line center in position into position of center location. Right? So you have to have the balance of letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols before you can travel through anything through emotional track. But again, where are your position locations to all level system? When you're coming into modification cycles, high channel line center, interference locations, high positions to its direct line center, location to its calculation. All right? Basic understanding. Balance is everything through coloration of patterns. So, and the avatar always sees it from here. Doesn't see it from here, it's here. So if you understand that through calculations, that's how you're going to use the levels of your 0 and 1s. Right? So a data stream is all about upgrades, uplinkings and downloads, upgrading system. So you got the data stream. I like to go through the green wavings. We did this before, right? There's 4 right here. All right, and there's numbers coming in, people. Look at that. Oh, I'm getting data. Upgrades, downloads, uplinking. All right, so it's just numbers weaving in cycles. 3 weather patterns. You got apparent line centers. You got 2 circle line rotations into position, location, direction. Okay, so you got a box channel. You got a line signature. You got a percentage line interference. You got a 7-box channel. You got a back force line center. In calculations, you got a circle line center rotations into a box system location to its position. All right. So a data stream is all levels of you and how it interprets your positions and how you calculate all levels to your TV reception. How to communicate with the sun and how to communicate with the moon is all levels of you through division location. Basic understanding, right? But see it changing in a circle. See? Circle travels through. Circle travels through. See? 3 line positions through a box system. So I can go back in division locations and change it into a triangle. Right? And I set up another security defense. You have to set up security defense line center if you're coming back. Because remember, it's the intent of the will through its creation is its position location to its direction. All through the grounds. And so once you understand that, you can open up another channel of a clocking line channel rotation interference. Okay. And again, you have to set up security barriers. 12 line center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 line positions. Okay. So, and you can set up a flywheel. I like setting up flywheels. propellers, right? It's very powerful when you do that through position, right? And the flywheel can actually travel on its own if it understands its rotation. Okay, it can fly on its own. So one step first is all levels of connections. But it's amazing what force fields are and how to modify its signal. So I think it's powerful when you understand more when it starts in provision. So how's everybody doing so far? Going to stand out in the sunlight in my night. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, spinning so fast and what I see, good. All right, it's fantastic to see these calculations. Yep. Energies are good. Fluctuation lines. It's very powerful. Sonar coming to that connections. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a modification signal. All right. So where are we in division? The location of tactic centers. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. I'm just backtracking right now, guys. Making sure you guys are in correlation. Mm-hmm. No, that's great. Yeah, you guys are doing extremely well. Very powerful how we connect all the systems through travel. But I just want to show you what it is when you go to the eye central line centers of your eye position locations and the importance to understand what it is through track location. All right. So I'm going to head over to TikTok. Hope you guys had a lot of fun. I know I did. Always have fun with you guys. It's amazing when you go to school and you start learning more. Learn more, you learn to appreciate more. Okay, of you. Why it's so important to remember of who you are, right? And then you come into higher force line centers of travels. So I'm going to take you guys out of the equation line center interference locations, eye line central interference location, computer adaptation system, code signal line centers of crew units, squads 1 and 2 positions, GFL, everything through all levels of the rebellion alliance and connections to these ascended masters, take them out of track line centers, box interference line conditions, bring it back in communication cycle. Okay, you guys are back. So it's all about understanding how to get you back in communication. You don't want to be trapped in mind line rotation interference, not this position location high lines. It's about understanding the perception, what it is to the avatar stream. Know exactly what this represents to you in all level division locations, especially when you get up in the morning. Know exactly what you're seeing. It's how to coordinate it, how to calculate it, modify it, and see it for what it is as intelligence, right? That's going to help you out more and more each day when you go into that calculation, right? All right. Tomorrow we'll get into the mind telepathy game. I really want you guys to get into a level positions where we can travel shapes and anomalies into higher line condition interference to frequency locations. All right. All through the alpha, delta, theta, and omega communication system. Modifications to a signal through its avatar stream. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Adios.